Good morning. Welcome to our morning meditation on this feast of Saint Martha. And there are two main stories of Martha in the scriptures, and they give us a glimpse into her character. She is, of course, well known maybe for being the worker, and we'll explore that story a little bit. Then we'll explore her as the mourning sister of a dead man, Lazarus. And so we will take a look at her in that role, in that place, in that time. As we come before the Lord today to meditate, to move into the Lord's Word, we begin in song. It's great to have Stacy with us today. So Saint Martha, she gets kind of a bad rap in a certain way, and so we'll take a look at her. But she is the patron saint of cooks, housewives, waiters, and waitresses, and servants. So in her patronage, she gets that servant role, and which of course comes from the story from Luke's Gospel, chapter 10. And it goes like this. As they continued their journey, Jesus entered a village where a woman whose name was Martha welcomed him. And of course, welcoming is a great trait in the biblical world, a great trait in our world, welcoming. Martha had a sister named Mary who sat beside the Lord at his feet, listening to him speak. And so we get this picture of Mary, and a little comment on Mary. It would have been unusual for a woman to sit at the feet of a teacher. And so there's that movement there. Martha, burdened with much serving, came to Jesus and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me by myself to do the serving? This is a great question in prayer to God, right? Lord, do you not care that we're struggling? Do you not care about what's going on? Martha adds, tell her to help me. Tell her to help me. The Lord said to her in reply, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and worried about many things. This can be one of the great definitions, perhaps, of our times, that we can be worried about many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, and it will not be taken from her. This weekend in our Gospels, we get this feeding of the 5,000 and the great line that they all ate and were satisfied. This is almost impossible, right? If we feed 5,000 people, that they're going to be satisfied, even with the food, much less satisfied about anything else. Their hot weather, their seating situation. They all ate and were satisfied. This is what we really seek. Now, we are celebrating the feast of Saint Martha. She is canonized as well as Mary. She is a saint. And so this active life of getting things done is important, super important, and needed in our church and in our world. Thank you, Barb Gracek, right? You are Miss Martha to us. We need these people, and we need to get work done, things we need to do. In that work, though, not to lose sight of the Master or whom we work for. Classic, Martha gets a little bit of a bad rap. Yep, she has the many things and almost emblematic of our age. You are burdened with many things, worried and burdened. And so today in our meditation, we place our burden and worry down before the Lord before we begin our day. 10 minutes later, we can pick it back up again and take off with it. But, we give it to the Lord to start our day. The other passage, which of course is magnificent, is in John's Gospel. I'll preface the beginning of it. Jesus is out teaching on the other side of the Jordan River. They send a messenger. They said, her brother's dying. Martha and Mary, whom you love, their brother's dying. Come back. And Jesus loved Martha and Mary and their brother, and he waits there 2 more days, right? This is the great line. Then they come back. And so this is the scene when they returned. When Jesus arrived, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. And I've talked about this regularly, that on the 3rd day we see God. On the 4th day, it's all over. No hope. This guy's dead. When Jesus arrived, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Now Bethany was near Jerusalem, only about 2 miles away. Many of the Jews who had come to Martha and, and, Mary to comfort them about their brother, When Martha, this is our saint for today, heard that Jesus was coming, she went to meet him, but Mary sat at home. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now, after 4 days, I know whatever you ask of God, God will give you. Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise." Martha said to him, "I know he will rise in the resurrection on the last day." This is where we get this tenet about the resurrection. One of the places we get a comment about the resurrection on the last day. And so there's the thought that there's a judgment upon our death, but then there's also the final judgment at the resurrection on the last day. Jesus told her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even if they die, will live." And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? And always in these gospel passages where Jesus asks a question of one of the characters, of course it can come right to us. Do you believe this? That those who have faith will not die. And then we've talked about this a number of times. John's passages, at the end of the passage, virtually always someone is proclaiming their faith in Jesus Christ. This would be one of the reasons that Martha is a saint, because of this beautiful line. "Yes, Lord, I have come to believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one who is coming into the world." And that is a reference to Deuteronomy about Moses saying, "There will come one like unto you in the future." And so when they speak about the one, it was the one like unto Moses, the one who is coming into the world. Then this beautiful line. When she had said this, she went and called her sister Mary secretly, saying, "The teacher is here and is asking for you." This is our line, our description, our call. The teacher is here and is asking for you. As soon as she heard this, she rose quickly and went to him, for Jesus had not yet come into the village. I think we maybe know the end of the story, but we'll continue on just a little further and get to the end. When Jesus saw her weeping, that is Mary, and the Jews who had come with her weeping, he became perturbed and deeply troubled and said, "Where have you laid him?" They said to him, "Sir, come and see." And Jesus wept. So the Jews said, "See how he loved him." So Jesus, perturbed again, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone lay across it. Of course, this will remind us clearly in John's Gospel of the tomb that Jesus is in upon his death, and resurrection. But we get this prayer at the graveside. Lord, you consoled Martha and Mary in their distress. Draw near to us or mourn. Dry the tears of those who weep. And so it's a beautiful prayer that we get when we say the prayers by the graveside. Lord, you consoled Martha and Mary in their distress. Dry the tears of those who mourn. Comfort those who weep. And so at that graveside, Jesus is next to the tomb. And when we're in the cemetery next to the tomb, we see Jesus with us as he is at this on this day. Martha gets one more line. Jesus said, take away the stone. Martha, in case you forgot, the dead man's sister, said to him, Lord, by now there will be a stench, for he has been dead for 4 days, right? He's really dead. Jesus said to her, didn't I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? So they took away a stone. Jesus raised his eyes. Father, I thank you for hearing me. I know that you always hear me, but because of the crowd here, I've said this, that they may believe when you said that you sent me. And when he said this, he cried out in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. The dead man came out, tied hand and foot with burial bands, and his face was wrapped in a cloth. So Jesus said to them, untie him and let him go. Once again, St. John's Gospel layered. So this final line, now many of the Jews who had come to Mary and seen what he had done began to believe in him. And so this over and over in John's Gospel, began to believe in him. And so today as we come with Saint Martha, with cooks and homemakers and waiters and people who serve, waitresses, we come in that faith of Jesus' power even over death. You are the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in you will have eternal life. Now go back to work. All right, thank you. We've had our morning meditation. Now we hit the trail. All right? Well, yes, of course. After Stacy's song, that is. Stacy will send us forth in joy. Morning meditation, Tuesday through Friday, 9 o'clock. All right, God bless. Have a great day. We'll see you.